When you were in school, what was your biggest worry about going back to school?
School is always a big anxiety causer for me. I have multiple learning disabilities, and so the work was always really hard. And I actually made a post about it on Twitter, or X as they now call it, yesterday, where on my first day of high school, one of my first classes in the morning was math, being one of my learning disabilities, and I looked through like the workbook that our teacher laid on our desks, and I got such an anxiety attack I had to leave early because like I was so overwhelmed. I didn't understand any of the math, and like it sent me into a full blown anxiety attack, and I had to leave early on my first day.
So how did you go back? How did you cope with that? Like what kind of strategies did you use to
My
get through?
parents were just like, go back, take it a day at a time, and see how things go. Like they weren't like over aggressive. They're just like, go back, take it a day at a time, and we'll help you through it. And I just had a really good support system um with my parents and with family and friends. So
Wow, what did your parents or family and friends do to help you? How did that support
they were
system
constantly,
work?
emailing back and forth with my teachers, being like, "Here's where we're struggling with Miko. Here's what we think could help," and so on and so forth.
And you graduated from high school
Yeah, I
when?
actually wrote my last exam, which was my English exam, my grade 12 English, with full blown pneumonia.
Wow.
They, I got a doctor's note, and they wouldn't give me a extension. It was like end of year exams. And so I wrote my exam feeling like absolute death. And then I went home and slept for like 2 days.
And you did it. You wrote your final exam and you graduated from high school.
Yeah. And then I
Congratulations.
got two different awards at grad. I didn't even know I was going to be, well, actually, no, I knew I was up for one award because about a week before grad, I got called to the vice principal's office. I thought I was in trouble, but he's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, like, you're getting an award at grad, and like, I want to let your parents know." So we phoned my parents to let them know.
What was the award?
It was some in-school award. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but they had different awards that they had within the school, and then the other was the Governor General Award for most volunteer hours.
Wow, that's tremendous. Well, congratulations. Do you think you could have achieved all of that without your support system?
Oh no, not at all, not at all. Like the support systems are so key. Like they just are so important.
They are. And do you still rely on your support system?
Well, I'm not in school anymore, and I've been working odd jobs here and there. But they're not really jobs where I need a lot of support. Jobs where I'm just naturally good at them. So I just kind of thrive and just do what I have to do. And
It sounds like you learned a lot of skills from your support system.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, I feel like elementary school, especially the early days, I was set up for a lot more success just because I had a lot more supports. And then as I got older, they tried to, I guess, take away those supports over time. And then in high school, especially my first high school, like there was literally no support. So then I transferred to a small independent private school, and there were small class sizes, lots of teacher support. They had a lot of volunteers come into the classroom to help us. And I really feel like that really set me up for success.
Tell me, tell me about elementary school. You said you had a lot more supports in elementary school. What did those supports look like?
Um, so I had an EA, an educational assistant, because back when I was in the early grades, right around the time of my diagnosis, my needs were a lot higher than what they are now. And then obviously I went through, therapy like a lot of kids with autism do. And the combination of those really, helped me in elementary school.
So when you got through elementary school, did you no longer have an EA with you? Are those some of the things that were
So at my first high school, I think my math class was like 15 kids, one teacher and one EA, but it wasn't like one to one. And I feel like that's what really set me up for failure at that school. And I'm glad that I got out of that school. That school was not a good situation for me.
But was it your parents that supported you in going to a different school, or you, or like how did you
So I
advocate
remember
for?
one night my parents were like, "We're gonna go to a meeting," and then they come back and they sit me down. They're like, "So we just had this meeting at this place, and they have a small um, independent high school with a lot more supports, and they were like, they want you to do like a tour and see if you like it." Yeah, it was such a good experience.
Wow, it sounds like your parents were huge advocates for you in
Oh
school.
yeah, like when I was first diagnosed with autism, my parents wrote this like long letter and then made a, I don't even know how many photocopies and handed out to parents and teachers at my school explaining what autism was, because when I was diagnosed it wasn't as well known as it is now, and it explained like a little bit about me, like why I do the things I did, why I acted the way I acted, and like asking them not to judge me and to include me and to make me feel as normal as possible.
Do you feel like what they did helped you in school?
Oh, 100%, 100%.
So what advice would you give to parents who have children going back or starting elementary school like this week?
Contact with the teachers is key. Be your kid's biggest support system, because unfortunately schools are vastly underfunded, and so you need to be your child's biggest advocate, your child's biggest support system. Constant contact with your child's teacher, because it will benefit your child down the line.
That is such great advice. Is there anything else that you would want to tell parents about school or
I know that school can be a big anxiety factor for kids. As we all know, kids with special needs don't like change, and unfortunately school is nothing but change, especially as you get into the older grades, where you're going from being with one teacher all day to multiple teachers in multiple different subjects, like especially in grades 7 and 8, where you're going from homeroom to science to math to French to music to this class to that class. And it's constant change that kids are going to need help with transitioning. And you know also, I find when I've spoken to friends of mine that are teachers, they say their principals have been absolutely amazing in helping them to help their students. Principals, if you're watching this, please help your teachers as much as possible. I know your job is stressful, but helping your teachers will help the students and it will benefit everyone in the end.
thanks so much, Mishu. Um,
No,
I want people to know that um, you are part of our Facebook group, Launching Life with Autism,
yeah,
and there are others in the group who are adults with autism. There are also others who are just newly diagnosed adults with autism looking for support, and that you have
also
said,
parents.
oh,
I love talking to parents. I love getting to hear their stories and seeing if there's any way that I can give them any kind of advice to help them. Like that's what I love to do.
I know, and I so appreciate how you are so willing to talk to people, which is why I wanted to make this video with you so that people know how to find you in our Facebook group. You're right there, and you're a great resource for people. So
Well, I
thank
mean, I
you.
had a lot of help growing up with amazing parents and amazing friends and family, so I'm lucky, and I just hope that other kids have the same kind of luck that I did.
Thanks, Mishu. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for being part of our group. And thanks for supporting all the people who are going to reach out to you.
No worries. Happy to do it.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.